Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011. We are 13 years removed from a proper Potter film in the theaters, and if you were around during that time, you would remember just how consistent those films were coming out and how much Harry Potter hype in general was everywhere. Hell, for the last 3 films, I went to midnight screenings for all of them. I'm actually a pretty decent-sized Harry Potter fan. Not the Fantastic Beasts movies. I think I might have seen the first one, but I actually don't think so. Like, all of that stuff is crap, and when it comes to reading the books, I'm one of those Philistines who have never read the books, and I just appreciate most of the movies for what they are. The first 2 are kind of cringe. The second one's all right. Third one I waffle on, but everything after that, yeah, it's pretty decent. And so when I heard news a couple years back that Warner Brothers was kicking around the idea of perhaps revisiting the wizarding world, and in fact, instead of redoing the movies, they were just simply going to adapt the books and turn it into a television series. And frankly, that sounded like a hell of a good idea. And now that that is becoming a reality, I'm thinking, this is going to be the biggest thing ever. Because all the kids, my age and stuff, who were growing up, watching those films, reading those books, they're at the perfect age right now to be signing up for a streaming service and showing it, well, for the ones that are out there starting families, to pass down the Star Wars for the millennial generation to the next generation. Then I also think that, oh yeah, this is 2024, and they're totally gonna mess this up. But, hey, JK Rowling's still in charge of it, and, it's not gonna get too far off the rails until you realize that, oh, yeah, she's still a crazy, rabid feminist, and yeah, it's gonna be bad because all of her ex post facto changes to the lore, yeah, she's going to be able to implement those in her show, and Warner Brothers is definitely going to be more than willing to take those on. So, yeah, instead of Dumbledore just being a wise sage, he's going to be making constant references to his gay lover, and Hermione's definitely going to be a little black girl because, yeah, casting call for upcoming Harry Potter series says company is committed to inclusive, diverse casting. I mean, what did Draco and his boys always used to get up to and deride Hermione for? All right, her mudblood origins. Harry Potter's probably going to look like Harry Potter. That would cause a little bit too much of a stink, because as crazy as your rank and file Harry Potter fan is, they still wouldn't be all that receptive to a race or gender swapped Harry Potter. So they'll probably make Harry Potter a little white boy. Okay, there's a high degree of possibility on that one. I put it at like a 90% chance, and they could do that to the Weasley family because, yeah, they do come from lower economic status, but would you want to do the meme of replacing, redheads with blacks? I don't really know. Maybe you'd do that, but Hermione, I would give that, that's a 50% chance, or rather a coin flip, that she's going to be less Emma Watson and more Zendaya, if you will. Well, let's see what they're actually calling for. The casting call for Max's upcoming Harry Potter series has many fans fearing the Hollywood production will race swap or even push sexuality changes, into a kid's story, which, why do you need that? That's creepy. All of that stuff, obviously. We know Harry eventually ends up with Ginny, and Ron and Hermione eventually shack up, and there are little harmless school time romanticisms, and obviously Snape simping over Harry's mom, but we really need that stuff, especially for the first few seasons. That's kind of creepy, bro. Okay. But yes, push all of those changes onto Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Ron Weasley. I don't really know. They could, and if they're going to, I think Hermione's definitely going to be she's going to be the preeminent target if they're going to be doing any sort of changes. The casting call, posted to Cast It Talent's website, reveals the production is looking for children who will be between the ages of 9 and 11 in April of 2025, and who are residents of the United Kingdom and Ireland. Okay, at least they're trying to be faithful to some of the lore. That makes sense. It then provides instructions for applications to apply, including a video submission of a short poem or a story, as well as a second clip providing information about the application, including, birth date, height, and where you live as your information regarding family members and pets. However, at the end of the casting call, where many fans' fears are stemming from, it states, "We are committed to inclusive, diverse casting. Every role, please submit qualified performers without regards to ethnicity, sex, disability, race, sexual orientation, gender identity." All this stuff is for 9 to 11-year-olds, huh? Or any other basis protected by law unless otherwise specifically indicated. That's the thing, though. they have to, by law, include all of this weird stuff because UK and all that. Like, if this was getting cast in Los Angeles, all of that stuff would be there because all of these studios are ideologically driven. So don't think that, the government's over there twisting Warner Brothers' arm. We're all in bed together over this one. It's just, yeah. It's such a good idea to adapt these out, take every book and expand them over a full 10, 12, who knows how long or how many episodes they're going to have in a season. But doing 7 seasons, like, there's a potential of this being the biggest show of all time. I'm not even underselling it because the size of the Harry Potter fan base. You know how successful that book franchise has been for the past 30 years. I think we're going on. Like, the Philosopher's Stone came out late 90s, so yeah. Blog post on the official Wizarding World website covering the casting call does try to blunt fears, revealing the show will serve as faithful adaptation of JK Rowling's Harry Potter books. But yeah, she can't even be faithful to her own books. Turning Dumbledore gay out of nowhere, answering questions about how wizards poop. Like, she can't even keep anything straight, but she definitely knows how to attack men whenever women fall short. It's very strange how that's about the only thing she's consistent on. However, it does not appear to be working. Oh, okay. Yeah, Gary Beekler. Yeah, because that's where I first heard about this, and yeah, he brought up the point that the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child stage play, you had, a little black girl play the role of Hermione, and kind of seems like that could end up being the case on the TV adaptation here. He stated, "My guess is Hermione." Film Threat founder Chris Gore added, "She will be a prediction light-skinned black girl." Beekler replied, "Yup. They already had it in a play. I know they did it in the play, but you're right, which would be so on the nose because Hermione's character, and she'll be called a mudblood." Yeah, I mean, that also came to mind the moment that I heard all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, and then Gary just lays it out, and it's like, totally makes sense. I didn't know anything about this play, but it all lines up so perfectly. When casting for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child was initially announced, fans were not happy about the change because as much as a certain segment of the Harry Potter fan base hates JK Rowling, they hate changes to the lore more than just about anybody else. They're almost as rabid as Tolkien fans because there are some book purists, okay? I had friends back in the cut that were just incensed about the changes that were in movies, which I've heard some of them, and especially the Half-Blood Prince. That was absolutely hacked from the book. About the only thing that wasn't changed was that Snape kills Dumbledore. Spoilers, but we'll eventually get there. Like 2045. Oh my god. Nevertheless, series creator, JK Rowling defended the decision, telling The Guardian, "With my experience of social media, I thought that idiots were going to idiot, but what can you say? That's the way the world is. Noma was chosen because she's the best actress for the job." This is why I don't know why there's so much simping for JK Rowling online, because she's an idiot. Like, let's not forget this. She was out there touting how, UK needs to accept more illegal immigrants, take on more illegal aliens, more boat people should be allowed in. And she was tweeting about that from one of her multiple mansions. And how many aliens has she taken on? Oh, right, exactly. Or still how she was blaming men for, women getting knocked out in the Olympic boxing. Like, none of this stuff, she doesn't make sense. I love the world you created. I could just do without you. For different reasons than other segments of the fandom could do without you. When John told me he'd cast her, I said, "Oh, that's fabulous. Who are we talking about? What's my percentage?" Because I'd seen her in a workshop and she was fabulous. As for what to expect from the show to arrive on HBO, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav's like, "The faster the better because we're hemorrhaging money," indicated the company was aiming for a 2026 premiere. Okay, he said during the company's fourth quarter 2023 earnings call in February, we've not been shy. There we go. About our excitement around Harry Potter. Yeah, because at that point in time, back in 2011, you had Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, and he was also continued to cook with Inception. You had the Harry Potter films. Like, Warner Brothers was on top of the world, and then Zack Snyder got in there with his DCEU, and everything went to garbage. And now nobody wants to work with you because you look like such a clown company. But for whatever reason, you've treated Harry Potter fairly well, and you've given those Fantastic Beasts movies more than enough chances. The last film was made more than a dozen years ago. Yep, 2011. I was in London a few weeks ago, Casey and Channing, and we spent some real time with JK and her team. Both sides are thrilled to be reigniting this franchise. Oh yeah, of course, because that means there's going to be a lot of money going around. Because if you do this right, like, I'm going to be super excited by this. Not for nothing. I really like those films, like I said before. And to see them fleshed out properly with everything that was removed, I'm down for that. This could be huge. Our conversations were great, and we couldn't be more excited about what's ahead. We can't wait to share a decade of new stories with fans around the world on Max. We're aiming for a debut in 2026. It's just, what's the cast going to look like? What are the stories that are going to be prioritized, and how much modern audience pandering is going to be a part of it? Don't know until we actually see the cast reveal, which I remember how big that was back in the day. That was without social media. Oh boy, this is going to be something moving forward. And I'll just say this, I'm cautiously optimistic because I know the way that Warner Brothers, HBO handles stuff, and yeah, they're the best hands to have on this. It's just, even still, yeah, things could go sideways very, very quickly. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Coswell, and I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.